Hello, family. Welcome to Thriving Couples by the Dindies,
The
the place where we keep marriage real,
real,
fun, and fulfilling.
fulfilling.
And we're your hosts, Keith and
Esther
Dindi.
Dindi.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. It's going to be another exciting discussion. And today, you see, we're in red.
Oh yes. Love.
Yeah, so today we are talking about how to keep the fire of romance alive and well in marriage. Yes. So how do you keep that flame burning even many years down the line? That is what we'll be discussing today. So karibuni sana.
It's gonna be fun. Stay tuned.
Yes, so today we're talking romance, how to keep the embers of love burning. It's amazing. Many people do mention that after marriage, maybe after the first 2 years, people keep saying, that's the honeymoon stage. There's a lot of the butterflies in the stomach. Then as time goes by, things get drab and people say, quote unquote, we've fallen out of love. And many marriages actually fizzle out and die out like that. So today we just want to talk about how can you keep your romance alive even many years into marriage. How do you ensure that does not die out? Why do you think things tend to fizzle out over time?
I think I would start by saying that things tend to fizzle out just because people stop doing the things that they were doing to fall in love. When people are dating or courting, they are very thoughtful about each other, and really the essence of love being a verb, being an action, something that you do. It's just that it's being thoughtful and taking the right actions towards your partner, your spouse. So the things, when you're dating, you create time to go out on dates. You are very keen to notice your partner's love language. So if they like gifts, even when your pockets are not really deep, you're going to make the effort to buy them something. It could be even like a small chocolate or one stem of flower, or take note of something that they like and actually be able to get them that. And so just being keen to notice what they like most, being keen to spend time together, and it doesn't have to cost money. Like for us, many times our most romantic moments are when we take leisure walks just in nature. And so showing thoughtfulness, sharing and being affectionate, saying those words. Sometimes we restrain ourselves too much, even in marriage. I'm like, if I feel something good about this guy, I'm going to tell him those nice words. I'm like, oh, I think you've been an amazing guy today. Things like he does something with the kids that he should be able to do as their dad, but I appreciate. I'm like, hey, you're an amazing dad. Our kids are really happy and blessed to have you. So saying nice things that evoke the right emotions in your partner, being thoughtful about them, spending quality time with them. If you maintain that in marriage, if you continue doing those same things that made you feel in love at the beginning, it's going to feel exciting and it's fulfilling. So it's simply thoughtfulness.
Yeah, I love the idea of equating romance to thoughtfulness. That just knowing that someone is thinking about you, knowing that someone, even as they're doing everything else in their busy day, they have you somewhere in their mind. So that thoughtfulness, doing things that will show your partner, I was thinking about you. So people many times think of romance as big things that are done. Or let's go to Maldives. let's
but
go
it
now.
won't cure problems. If you've had
Yeah.
issues that are unresolved, going to
Exactly.
Maldives or the Caribbean islands.
Yeah. It's good to do that.
Yes.
And we
We
travel,
love
we go
that.
to beautiful places. But the truth is, romance boils down to the daily things, the daily little habits that speak to your partner, that I care about you, I was thinking about you. Those big things that we do once in a while cannot replace the daily grind. At the end of the day, relationships are not destroyed by big things. Many times it is the small things. When you start feeling like your partner is taking you for granted, it's like, well, she will always be here. He will always be here. So those, you no longer do the things that you did to woo someone. You just feel, well, project is done. Girl is now married. I'm in gearbox. The box in this case being the house. So there is no need to do anything to romance your partner. So I love the idea of equating romance to thoughtfulness, because then that means anyone can be romantic.
Yes. And I think now that you talked about, taking holidays vis-a-vis the things that you do on day-to-day basis, and both of them being very important, but the day-to-day things end up being more important. And this just to compare it to, those of you who have ever had tooth problems, you visited a dentist, but you realize that, and if your dentist has really counseled you well, that you're better off taking care of your teeth and ensuring that you're not consuming those simple sugars, very simple refined sugars that are going to mess up your teeth, that it's very important to clean your teeth daily, not to wait for once a year dental appointment. So as much as you'll go for that once a year dental appointment to ensure that your doctor looks at you very thoroughly and takes care of things you might not be able to take care of, it's very important that in between, you're brushing your teeth, you're flossing, you're doing all those other things that are important. So it's just to emphasize that the day-to-day things are important as much as we'll have a one-off or once a year or twice a year major events that spark that what you call romance.
So romance is what you do in the in-between.
Yes.
I like that. I think a lot of people, when they say they have fallen out of love, the truth is they have actually just drifted apart.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because many times the business of life, the reality of
changing diapers, doing dishes,
just
laundry.
Things happen.
Yeah.
And it's very easy, especially in today's modern culture where everyone can get lost in their own worlds. You find each spouse has got their own objectives, their own goals in life. They are pursuing their own careers. And it's very easy to pursue those and sacrifice the we in the pursuit of the excellence of the I. And so when you look at relationships that go astray, many times it just started with drifting apart slowly. By the time you realize you've drifted so far apart, the effort to really bring you guys together, you feel like it's too much. There's a sad story I remember of somebody that we knew in our family when we were growing up. He grew up with us like a brother to us. And one time when they were at the coast for Easter holidays, he went into the ocean, for a swim with the rest of the people. But as the tides were coming and receding, he started drifting apart slowly. And he was having fun. He didn't realize that he was getting more and more separated from shore. And he drifted apart from the rest, and we actually lost him.
Really sad.
Very, very, very sad. But just to illustrate that, a drift can occur very easily. And therefore, the purpose of romance is really to fight the drift. How do you remain connected on a day-to-day basis so that you don't drift apart?
And that just brings us to the concept of creating habits. And I think I would share what we usually tend to do, because naturally, if you're not working towards each other, you're going to drift apart. And so I'd say in the morning, as much as possible, we try to have breakfast together. So, we chat a little bit, get to know how our days look like. I get to know whether Keith, the kind of case he's operating on that day, or whether he's going to the operating room or not, and all that. He gets to know how my day looks like, whether I'm going to be in the clinic or going to be doing that kind of stuff. So we just tend to connect and start the day off together. And in the course of the day, we'll connect either by a text, a WhatsApp. It can be, it doesn't have to have any meaning, just saying hi or checking on you, or sometimes call.
Yeah. Many silly things.
Sometimes very silly things.
Yeah.
Sometimes if he was in the operating room, he'd just call to let me know that he's done with the case. Maybe they're settling in the patient in the critical care unit, that kind of stuff. Then in the evening is when we really spend quite a bit of time, it depends. It could be short, it could be long, depending on how exhausted we might be feeling. And that's before Kivumbi. But we tend to have what we call pillow talk. So we kind of go through, how was my day? How was his day? We just get to hear each other. What was the lows? What were the highs? And that kind of thing. And that way we remain connected on what is each other's interest, what they're going through, and remain part of their life very intentionally. Because if you don't do that, really, you're definitely going to grow apart. And in essence, is to ensure that each one of us feels seen, feels listened to, feels heard, and feels understood. Because those are very important, deep emotional needs. And if you don't address them by connecting, then you're going to drift apart. And that's, in essence, what we call falling out of love.
Yeah, I really love the idea of intentionality. And we started by saying love is a verb. It's not a feeling. And so when we are being romantic, many times it's not really because we've got cozy feelings in our hearts. It's because we choose to be. So it is this whole idea of making a choice, not depending on feelings. Yeah, but choosing your partner every day. So what can you do to show your partner that I choose you today?
And may I add that your feelings will follow your actions.
Yes.
So because marriage is a state of commitment, you act in love and the feelings will follow. So you do it and you feel the love.
Yeah, absolutely. If you wait for the feeling sometimes. Yeah, so that aspect of intentionality is so crucial. I think if there's one word that we've used the most in our group, it is this word intentionality. Yes, that things don't just happen. Great marriages you don't just stumble into an amazing marriage. You are walking across the street and you stumble into one. No, it doesn't happen like that. They say, ukiona vyaelea vimeundwa. So you cannot outsource marital responsibility. There are things that you must do yourself. We say you have to marinate your partner yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do it for you. So it is important to be intentional about keeping the flames alive. If you allow chance to happen, or if you just keep on the grind of life, it's very easy to find that you've gone separate ways. We people, at certain periods in our own relationship, we felt we are drifting apart. I remember very well when we were in our master's
training program.
Because it was very hectic. The children were young. We were both very busy. We were broke, so would be studying. Then I would be having to go do locums in the evening just to ensure we, as a man, you have to provide for your family. Esther would then go home to take care of the kids. And so we would come together in the evening exhausted and leave very early, the traffic scenario in the city. And we actually realized we were drifting apart. And I remember we had to call ourselves for a meeting and say, hey, we're drifting apart. We need to do something. And we made very specific decisions and said, we will have every week a date where we just find out what's going on in each other's life. We don't discuss the children or whatnot. We literally just catch up with each other. We essentially get to reconnect as a couple. The default setting for any couple, it doesn't matter how much in love they are, the default setting is to drift apart. So for you to maintain the togetherness, there has to be intentionality. You have to agree, what can we do daily to keep this relationship alive and well? Failure to do that, naturally, every relationship will die a natural death. In medicine, they call it apoptosis. There's just programmed cell death. Without intervention, every relationship just boils down and falls apart.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate. So what we are saying in essence is that every day you have to think, what is it I can do today to enhance our marriage? What is it that I can do to be more in touch with my partner? What is it that I can do to make them feel loved, to make them feel cared for? Exactly. And sometimes, like, we have this habit whereby if I am home early or kid is home early, sometimes it's interchangeable, that whoever is home receives the other one. So, like, if I'm in the kitchen and Keith comes in and maybe I was listening to something, I'll unplug my ears, I'll stop what I was playing, it's just to show the other person that you matter to me. If I was in a meeting and Keith walks into the room, I just naturally light up. It's just that thing of, I notice you, I see you, you're important to me. The moment you start making your partner not feel important, things are going astray. So it's very important. This person you got married to, this person you fell in love with, it's good to keep that at the fore of your mind, and take action to ensure that every day you're doing something to make them feel special and feel important, to love and to cherish for the rest of your life.
And to hold.
And to hold.
Yeah, I like the hold part. Now, people have different love languages.
Sure.
And I think as a partner, it's very easy to love someone the way you want to be loved. And it's like for us, I love touch, while for her she really loves quality time, like that. So sometimes when I want to hold her close, to me, I'm showing her an amazing expression of love. But maybe well, it's nice, but that's not really the thing that is going to float her boat. So it's important to be thoughtful. That's why we said romance is about thoughtfulness. It's not just about what I want or how I want to be loved, but I have to be thoughtful and say, so what to my wife is represented as love? What does she interpret as love for her? So when I'm that thoughtful, then she feels loved. And when she is this thoughtful, then I feel loved. So at the end of the day, thinking about the other party, not just thinking, okay, they need to do this for me to feel loved, but I'm thinking, what do I need to do in terms of the love languages that she will actually resonate with?
And it's very important to be sensitive to each other, because like I've noticed, Keith's love language is touch. So if he comes and touches me in a special way, I just know he's craving touch at that moment. He doesn't have to say it, but then I know, because I love quality time. He loves touch. So when he does that, I respond by giving him touch. Mm-hmm. And then even him, he knows when I suggest that we go for a walk, I just want us to spend time together. So it's good to be sensitive and know that how you communicate your love is not necessarily how your partner receives it. So keep being aware and being conscious of what is love language to them.
Thank you. So just to bring things to a close, intentionality that will keep the ambers of romance alive, and just to say, we've been married, this will be 18 years in a few days, and we still feel that, and I think a lot of it is that intention. We might not have the exciting butterflies of early novelty and love, but there's something warm you feel for each other when you feel she's been thoughtful, I've been thoughtful about her.
And it's much more stable.
Let's keep the ambers of romance alive.
Oh, yes.
All right, guys. See you in our next episode.
Oh, yes.